Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball, presented by the U.S. Air Force. The midpoint of a season brings challenges, not only the push of the opponents, but also the wear and tear of the title chase. Those on top must turn to the reserve tank and keep the revs high. Others must refuel and shift to a higher gear in hopes of making some passes before the finish line. We dump the clutch and race into week 3 of Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball right now. Players, start your engines. It is time to try and climb this leaderboard. Brittany Abercrombie, on a combination of personal success and those all-important team victories, sits atop the leaderboard in her very first season. Betania de la Cruz Mejia, already a champion at 22 in close chase. And I'll tell you what, this weekend, it is pivotal, and we start with the frenemies matches here on a Friday. Welcome inside, everybody. Kevin Barnett again, joined by Olympian Key Michael. Key, here we go. Teammates in the first couple of weekends, now on opposite sides of the net. De la Cruz Mejia and member Monet. What intrigues you about this?
Well, I love that these two are going to know each other better than anybody else. They're going to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So for Betty, she's going to definitely target Lekator in the reception first and foremost. Lekator hasn't had to handle that sort of overspin serve so far this season. And yet, Betty, what's she going to do in that pin if she doesn't have that kind of power? These are my questions going forward.
All right, we'll look at the captains. La Betania Grande is first, the Big Beth.
Betty, fantastic player in her own right. She has been one of the dominant players this season. She's back, likely to have a little chip on her shoulder after last week's defeat by record-setting margins in the third set. She has every single skill in her own toolkit to win, but she can't do it alone. Has she put the right pieces into place to repeat the dominance that we saw in week 1? And how will Betty fare now that she has to face her own right-hand woman from last week?
And on the other side, a stock that's been rising, perhaps a player flying under the radar. Well, no more flying high in the sky is Lekator member Monet.
The Robin to Betty's Batman has finally spread her wings, and she's put her own team together. She came hot out of the gate with her first pick of Maddie Kingdon-Richel, who's been taken in the first round every week since joining Athletes Unlimited. Lekator has proven she can be an undeniable force in offense from both the front court and behind the service line. And based on her picks this week, she clearly favors an aggressive style of play.
Yeah, and she is going to be faced with the first opportunity to lead a team not only through the entire week, but now into these matches. We'll see how she adjusts. A look at her numbers alongside Betania for the first 2 weeks.
This is why they were the dynamic duo in 2 weeks straight, because they have these kind of numbers. They're putting up this many kills per set, each player equally aggressive. So the question is, now that they're split up, we're going to see different styles of play. They might have to shoulder a little more offense each one.
Marley Monserrat will get us started. Number 33, the setter. Already gets an overpass, and Kayla Handline is up there for the joust. It's her second start in this season. First time she's been picked as the starting middle. Johnson tip, that'll be picked up by Kojima, who's teamed with Betania all 3 weeks since Cat Bell down the line just wide to open us up for point number 1. That's kind of been the theme throughout the first 2 weeks. It is difficult to get a kill.
Yeah, that's what we saw, especially in that last match where Betty really couldn't put the ball on the floor, and she really struggled against Team Abercrombie in that last set of last weekend.
Yeah, historic struggle, in fact, 25-8. The lowest number of points ever scored in an Athletes Unlimited set, and we are now in our 4th season and halfway through it, just about.
And I actually went back to have a look at that match again, because I wanted to know what was it that really unraveled on Betty's side. And the Abercrombie side were really targeting Lekator member Monet in the reception, and she really kind of crumbled a little bit there. So for me, Betty came in with her first pick. Claire Hoffman, she wants to stabilize that reception first and foremost.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. That number 1 pick, Hoffman in the back row right now. Betania over the top, dug by Monet. That ball sliced through, and Willow Johnson, who's been playing, stepping up every single time, a little bit better, number 44 in blue this week.
Her draft stock as well going with it. She was in the 2nd pick for Lekator member Monet. And again, that goes back to member Monet saying, I want Maddie Kingdon-Richel, who's on your screen right now, as that number 1 scorer. Willow backing it up.
Yeah, Team AZ right there. Both Arizona natives,
yep.
Both Oregon Ducks. And this week, both playing for team member Monet. That ball blasted through the middle. Tori Dixon with the kill. And here we go. The matchup you were waiting for, Key.
Here it is. Let's see if she targets Lekator immediately.
She does like that wrist away. Indeed, right at her. She also digs the attack from the left, and Kat Bell tries to go inside. Finds a little bit too much of the netting.
So our first question has been answered. Where does Betty go in the serve? And she wasn't even at her strongest in that serve. That was a little softer than we're used to seeing Betty, but surely as she heats up, the question is, how does Lekator Membamane handle that?
Handline, tough serve. She proved that she has that as a weapon first time out. She'll play some defense here. Well done. Nice little layoff, and both teams have had a couple of early errors. Here comes our very first challenge. Remember, Monet will have to call it. We'll have to wait for the captain. Maddie Kingdon-Rischel was trying to call it. And finally we do. So we'll have our first challenge, 2 per team per set. I think from the indication from Maddie Kingdon, it was a touch on the block.
I was also curious. I asked the players how Lekator has been as a captain, and they said energetic, encouraging. One of the players, I think it was Thader, said she was born for this role. And that, for me, is a perfect example there. Kingdon going to call the challenge without even asking her captain, because she feels empowered to do so. And she would know better than anyone if there's a little touch there. I think she's looking for Kat Bell's underarm. I don't see it. Do you see a movement there?
It's going to be a tough one for us to see. Remember, the referees have access to a few more camera angles. They can also zoom in, go back and forth in finite detail. So some of the decisions you see will not be what you or I saw, Key, or you, the viewer, had an opportunity to look at. We're early in the first set here. 2 matches tonight, 2 matches every weekend. Evening that we go, Friday, Sunday, and Monday. We have Team Drews taking on Team Abercrombie coming up after this one. But this is the first of 3 sets. We play 3, and on aggregate, the overall win is decided. I had some interesting questions coming out of the draft, and you said Claire Hoffman at #1. Why did Claire Hoffman go #1 for Team Dela Cruz Mejia? What was she looking for?
Well, I had the same question, and for me it was because she showed a lot of stability in reception. So that was the one thing. If Betty's going to lose Lekator Membamane, she knows she's losing that offense, but what she's also losing was that target in reception that a lot of teams were really going for. So if she's decided, okay, I'm going to step up, take on my own offensive role, as Betty loves to do, she maybe doesn't need such an offensive outside. She needs somebody who's going to take care of that first contact, get it to the setter, and then she can just do her thing.
And I think Hoffman maybe hasn't been that obvious of an offensive weapon, but looking at the numbers, she's 10th in kills with 49. She's hitting 190 on the season. You go, well, 190 is not that high, but most of the good pins are hitting about 190.
Yeah.
It's not that unusual a number in Athletes Unlimited Volleyball Season 4.
She's stealthy. She's maybe not going to hit the extreme shots, but she's getting her points.
All right, no touch called, no touch confirmed on the challenge. Membamane, oh, very nice footwork.
I love when you watch volleyball and there's 10 different things you can look at. So Kevin's looking at the footwork. I'm looking at the roll into the middle of the shot, or the middle of the court. There's so many things.
You know what I really like there is the forward momentum. She stepped back and then her whole momentum went forward into that ball, making it a nice crisp contact, very deliberate attack. And that looks extremely deliberate from Hoffman.
Crispy, indeed. And this is what I like that we're going to see kind of unfold here. A fastball out, and that's from Natsi, who loves to give some speed to the pins. I think Hoffman's really going to excel on this team.
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about the pairings of middles and outsides. We don't talk, or pardon me, middles and setters, as that ball finds the block and the floor in transition from Betania. We talk a lot about the connection between setters and middles and how difficult that is to dial in.
I talk about it a lot, you mean?
Well, that's true. But the speed of the offense to the outside in the modern day game, that relationship almost as important for setters and outsides.
100%, and you'll see it in Team USA in particular. That at the Olympics, that's what they love to do. They will beat teams with that speed. So they're not stronger, they're not more aggressive, they're not hitting over, but they are faster sometimes.
Yeah, Montserrat, a player that has played with Lekator Membamane, perhaps part of that pick there. And you saw the speed to the outside, the speed of the attack, and we are tied at 5 apiece.
It was interesting, yeah, as well, to see Membamane bring Marley Monserrat as her first choice in setters. So we've seen a lot of setters kind of rise and fall, get the starting role, and then lose it, and then get it back again. It's really interesting to watch.
Well, Betania's picks have been extremely intriguing. In this week, she chose her libero second round.
That made me laugh when I saw that, because I spoke to her before the draft last week, and I said, you know, you have a really good connection with your libero, and she said, I'm not choosing libero early. Are you crazy? And she laughed at me.
Yeah, here's her first round pick just served. Her second round pick was the libero, who almost had that one were it not for the net. And then her third round pick was her setter, Natalia Valentin Anderson, going late for the opposite position. And she's now in her third opposite in 3 weeks, Betania de la Cruz.
Yeah, I think she doesn't necessarily worry too much about that position. She knows there are good players that are all going to get their points when they're called on. But yeah, she waited to get Capel till 6th choice. 2 middles went before her.
That ball set over crafty number 27, Natalia Valentin Anderson, who has logged a ton of time here in Athletes Unlimited, now her 3rd season. Multiple-time captain this week, the 3rd round draft pick for Team De La Cruz Mejia.
And considering how many years they've now played together, essentially she's saying, oh,
ace serve.
Yes, it was.
Well, it's interesting to watch how some of the combinations of middles go together, too. Kaz Brown, Tori Dixon have played together multiple times. Later, we're going to see McCage and Lauren Page together for the 2nd week in a row. Start to see some player combos playing roles. That ball set fast to the outside, dug up by Kat Bell. Tight to the net, joust. Reset. Lots of leeway given on that set, and Kingdon crushes it.
You were probably looking at her feet. I was looking at Kingdon's face when she took that attack. She's saying, oh, okay, that's not a great set. It's a little off the net, but she doesn't care. She still goes full speed. And who does she target? The middle of the defense. That is court awareness.
Monserrat back again. Trying to go short. That's a little too short for number 33. The setter. She'll be in the right back. Willow Johnson left front. That is rotation 1. Can be a source of pain for teams often where the opposite is on the left. Especially when Natalia Valentin Anderson is doing the serving. She's not only a sneaky setter, she's a sneaky good server.
Not so sneaky anymore after this many years, we know.
Speedy delivery to the outside is hit wide by Johnson.
I'm also keeping an eye on the target of reception. So traditionally in my mind, I'm thinking ball's going to go to Lekator Membermanev, goes to the other side of the net, or of the court, excuse me. Maybe Namaris Velez Augusto doesn't really know which way to take a step.
Short serve, Kingdon right there. Handline delivers. I was talking to Kayla Handline before this match, and she said, yeah, this is something I'm looking forward to. The opportunity to start. I am really excited about that. And it is an opportunity for her to show what she has.
Yeah, we've seen sparks of it. I thought she was fantastic last week as well, really stepping up in moments that she was needed. However, it is so hard to get a starting role if you don't have it early on. And I think a middle position might be one of the harder ones to do it because you have such a short time to show what you can do. And if the connection isn't on right away, it's really hard in 5 weeks to prove it.
One start a week ago, performed well not only at the net, but also from the service line, did Kayla Handline. She's in the right front now. Betty laces that one to Membermanev. Block slows Johnson. And on the other pin as well, Handline with the redirection on top of the cable. Count that kill for the blue-clad number 26.
Perfect example of making the most of an opportunity, because sometimes if you have a tough server, in this case they had to receive, but if there's a tough server behind you that gets you an overpass and as a middle you don't take care of it, that's 3 strikes in 1. There we go. Perfect example. Fader takes care of it on the money.
Well, we were chatting about serving too, and she said, look, when I'm serving, I'm trying to get the other team out of system. I'm not looking for aces. Those are so hard to come by in this league, but I'm going to hit seams. I'm going to put pressure on players. Overpass generated there, big win. Another tough one. Job done from the service line by Handline. Johnson passed it a little bit tight. And then blocked straight down Emily Fader, who had a breakout weekend in week 2.
Bader is one to watch in that middle position. And here's a look at the final block, but it all started with that tough serve, exactly like you mentioned, getting the team out of system on the orange side, and then the blockers have a much easier job.
Third tough serve in a row. Perfect pass this time. Kat Bell over the top, and she puts the ball down. Caught up with Kat Bell before this one, and I said, what's the story of the H? Can you tell me? Why Kat Bell? And she said, when my nephew was little, he kind of added the H sound, and then I was playing in a 4-on-4 tournament with 2 other Catherine-type names and needed to differentiate myself a little bit. So I said, hey, I could be Kat, a little extra H. And it's only a volleyball name for her.
I love that.
It appears nowhere else. On her driver's license, she's Catherine.
That, not to steal her thunder, but that's pretty much the same story for me. I played volleyball with another Kira.
Okay.
So she said, you can be Key. And she went on to win the gold medal in the beach volleyball Olympics. That was Kira Valkenhaus for Germany. So I love telling that story. So Kat, she's got an even cuter story than I do. But sometimes you just, got to take the back seat. Someone else wants your name, that's fine. Come up with a new one. I love that for Kat.
Well, Kat's in the front seat this week for Betty at that opposite spot. She's had Brittany Abercrombie, Willow Johnson, who's on the other side of the net and serving right now, and now Kat Bell in that opposite position, trying to open up some net for her. Tip, Johnson right there. Again, a little too tight. Second time, did it come up? For now, ruled and play on. Oh, not anymore. That ball's not coming up.
Look at the Theta there saying, yep, me, my fault, I didn't close it. First up, jousting at the net, and that's the pancake play that keeps it alive. Maddie Kingdon, Rochelle getting underneath it, but Kat's gonna have a field day. She's got an open net. She's all over it.
And she likes a lot of angle on that right side, too, this Kat Bell.
Yeah, so if this blocker in particular, like in that instance, is late, she's almost playing into what she's already is her strength, what already is her favorite shot. That's cross.
Because she's overrunning the play and reaching past the angle? Interesting idea. A service, like if I remember Monet down the line.
So this is one of the parts of the game that Betty won't be able to get from anyone else on her team. That top spin, aggressive serve from Lector member Monet.
Her 5th ace of this season. And she's heaped trouble on opponents as well. Not that time. First set, close action, as expected from these two tough squads. De La Cruz Mejia leads by 1 at the technical. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. Fall is in the air here in Mesa, Arizona. It's cooled off slightly. That can only mean we're hitting the midpoint of the season. And we knew every play mattered before. Now it really matters. You are only left with half a season to try and climb that individual leaderboard to get to the championship chase. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympian Key Michael here in the first set, 15-14. What do you like that you've seen so far from team member Monet?
I've been really impressed with the way that she has handled the serve first and foremost. But Savannah, what have you seen?
Well, Lekator member Monet is built her own team for the first time as a captain this week, and she wanted a setter that she was familiar with, Marley Montserrat. The two played together with the Atlanta Vibe in the Pro Volleyball Federation this past year, and after the draft, Lekator says she loves playing for a setter that's fiery and competitive, and she said Marley's the type of player that you can breathe life into, and she was ready to do that as her captain this week. Now, from the setter's mouth, in setting her captain and their 0-1, she said she is an athlete that you just got to let her go and get it. For her to be successful, Marley is focusing on letting her be physical and aggressive and setting her a high ball so she can do just that.
That's great stuff, Savannah. And it's interesting because we were talking about the high ball versus the fast ball. On Betty's side now, she's got players that like that speed. Marley Montserrat saying, I'm giving a high, kind of a slow ball to Lekator member Monet. Give her enough time to just get as high and athletic as she possibly can.
All right, we'll have Savannah Collins embedded with both teams throughout this match. She's our version of the mole. Oh, Natalia one-on-one picks up a stuff. Again, back to playing 6'6" instead of 5'6".
Nati, let him know. One-on-one, low and tight, taking out one of the best attackers in the league. Oh, she's so good at that.
Speed, outside, long, wanting another challenge is Kingdon. She's gonna have to get it out of her captain. Failed on a challenge for a touch last time. Lekator member Monet is gonna check with her facilitator. See what she saw. That's Deidre Collins-Parker. And we will get the challenge. All right, second challenge of this set for Lekator member Monet, and that will do it. She'll be out at this point. Could that factor as we go through the end of this set?
It could. I mean, right now it would be important for the stat score right now. However, the set is far from done. So I personally probably would have left it. Said, all right, if I didn't get the call, let's just move on, get the next one, because there's still so much volleyball left to play.
Okay, looking for a touch.
That's going to be tough. I like that she's swinging higher. She just got stuff blocked by Nati. So the idea is definitely go a little harder, a little higher. It's so tough to see.
Almost no topspin on that attack from Kingdon and Rischel. Now she'll get a word in with Deidre Collins-Parker. Opportunity for the teams to connect. I mean, we just came out of a timeout, so they've had a lot of time to chat here. And our referees trying to make sure they get a good look at the call here. Rachel Rodriguez is our R2, Lena Gustafson, our R1.
I'm distracted by Kaz Brown's nails. They are fire. Chrome.
That could be disorienting for attackers. Does she jump and turn them around?
I mean, maybe, yeah, blind them. Mirror fingers. That's got to be a strategy. Look, do whatever you can, all right? That's all I'm saying. Middle blockers could be sneaky like that.
It's like playing cards. Finiente, one of the popular games in the volleyball world. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Wise words from Kevin.
And that whole paradigm has been taken away in terms of touches. It used to be a big campaign. Some countries would get calls in their own countries constantly. Some wouldn't, and now everything is high flat because the challenge system has become so good that every little touch is detected. Internationally, you're not limited to 2 challenges per set. You are, as long as you're right, you have infinite challenges.
And I think I prefer that. I think that you shouldn't have to waste a challenge if it turns out that you're correct and you should have got the point. I don't think you should have to waste a challenge on that.
All right, well, it does take a while. They have lost both of their challenges. Remember Monet's side. De La Cruz Mejia still with 2. Leaderboard coming in, live updating as teams score points. Valentina Anderson there, digs it up, and Betty will put that one away. So it's +8 for Betty for the kill, and Manami Kojima is going to pick up the points for the set right there. You don't think of it going to a libero necessarily all the time, but for every set, you're going to gain points as well.
I wish we as volleyball community would have come up with a different word for set. right? Because we have the sets that are part of the game and the set that is the skill.
Well, it's an assist, I guess, but
Okay, yeah.
but not every set is an assist, because you can only get an assist on a successful attack. You get +1 for those.
And not every assist is a set, because if you pass it with your forearms.
Well, it's not really, it's not really a set, but it is a set. It's a set, but it's not a hand set. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can get into the games versus sets debate.
Exactly.
Yes.
How much time you got?
Well,
Viewers, how much patience you got for us?
we'll be at the trophy room later discussing it. 18-16, here's set 1. Emily Thader, no discussing the fact that from the service line, number 14 has been effective. Going short here. Hoffman, good pass. Betania. Blocked back. And there it is. The best feeling for Kayla Handline. She said, I love a good block. This is what I love about the position.
I think a good block and a block on Betty is even the next step higher, because Betty doesn't get blocked a lot. So Handline in the perfect position there, and even was pretty much insistent for the orange side.
Tight to the outside. Betty just bangs it through the hands. No question there about the contact and touch.
The difference in that ball was a little faster, right? And again, we're talking about the same things over and over. The orange team trying to run a faster offense right now, and the reason for it, beat Handline in the block. If Betty can get the ball fast and high, she can swing deep to the corner with basically no touch.
Okay, 19-17. Dela Cruz Mejia holding on to that advantage that would have them siding out to win the set, as that ball is wide. Correctly read by Kingdon Rischel.
Double sub, quick-lived.
Double sub exits. Natalia Valentin-Anderson back to the front row. And Emily Thader with us from the chair here in just a second. We're going to get her right as she is in the match. I like that. Emily, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Tell us about what's working out there, what's not working from your guys' prep to face this Dela Cruz Mejia side.
I think patience. We're playing a really strong team over there with a lot of ball control and discipline and just volleyball IQ. So I think we're going to have to be super patient. And when we have our chance, we're going to go for it. But if we don't have our chance, we got to be smart and wait for the right opportunity. So I'm seeing that right now, and it looks good.
Emily, I know you're pretty much out of breath right now because, you know, hashtag middle life.
Yeah, you get it.
What's the strategy against Betty in particular? What do you do when you know she's front court? You've got Kat Bell maybe on the other side. Who are you prioritizing?
I think it's less about the hitter and more about where my blockers are on my side. I need to make sure that I'm helping cover my setter and Lex. So if I'm paired up with one of those girls, and sometimes I'm paired up with both, but it's less about controlling, or it's less about stopping Betty, I think, and just controlling. She's going to get her points, her big swings, her smart tools. She's going to do her thing, as she always does, so it's about refocusing and just controlling, and like I said, when we have a chance to score, we score.
Your serve, last time you went short, what's your general strategy in this match or overall for service?
Man, I mean, of course I want to be aggressive and just get him out of system. Sometimes I think just doing my job and getting him out of system is the best way, so just be consistent and hit our target. I like to alternate. I'm going to try a no-look every now and again and see how it goes, but yeah, that's what I'm going for.
All right, your team lost a couple jump in the huddle there. Thanks for spending a little time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, 22-18, Emily Thader checking out here. Her squad calling a timeout. Little stretch here for Team Dela Cruz Mejia. It was a couple errors, a roll shot into the net, unfortunately. If you've been wondering about how the scoring system works in Athletes Unlimited Volleyball, we have positives and negatives, and team points matter a lot. Learn more now.
AU Pro Volleyball offers a unique scoring system that brings a dynamic way to follow the action. Players move up and down a league leaderboard based on both individual and team performance. Let's break it down for you. First, each match has win points awarded for set wins and match wins. A set win awards 40 points to each player, while a match win value is 60 points. Secondly, from the individual points category, aces, kills, assists, digs, you name it, they all score points. Aces are worth 12 leaderboard points. Blocks are also worth 12. Digs earn 5 points. But watch out, errors can lead to leaderboard deductions. For a complete scoring breakdown, check out our website at auprosports.com. Finally, onto the stars of the show, the third category to affect the leaderboard, MVP points. Following each match, the players vote for who they believe were the most valuable players in the competition. The top 3 are awarded points: 60 for MVP 1, 40 for MVP 2, and 20 for MVP 3. The live league leaderboard is constantly moving as athletes' individual points are factored in, play by play. At the end of each week, the top 4 players positioned atop the leaderboard are named team captains, a title that earns them the right to draft their own teams for the upcoming week's competition and to lead those teams throughout the week. At the end of the season, the single athlete in the #1 spot atop the leaderboard is crowned the Athletes Unlimited champion. In AU Pro Volleyball, every match, every play, every moment counts. It's all-star talent with playoff-level intensity every single day. So grab that popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the show as we find out who will be crowned the 2024 Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball champion.
Lights, camera, action.
And if you didn't think Molly McCage could just do everything, including being an amazing middle blocker, attacker, server, she's also now a voiceover artist. I'm impressed.
Let's check in with Savannah.
It's really neat to see how the draft plays out in these huddles. We've talked about how Betania de la Cruz Mejia prioritized that defense, and Manami Kojima, a setter that can pick up balls. Same with Claire Hoffman, has great ball control. To then step into that blue huddle and hear their facilitator, Collins Parker, say, hey, that team has way too good of passers for us to not be aggressive. We have got to stop tipping, because that is not going to work on that type of defense. Our offense has got to pick it up when it turns to being physical and aggressive against a team like this Orange squad.
Well, there is the orange side being aggressive right there on their own service. Valentina Anderson causing trouble. Kat Bell finishing it off. So out of that timeout, they extend the lead.
It's an interesting point Savannah makes, because she's literally in the huddle. We saw her just go before going to break. You can see her in the background there, but that's the kind of information that we can't get here, just sitting, watching the fan, the viewer. So it is so good to have that little extra little insight.
Little 4-point run here. Opportunity for more. Kojima, perfect dig. Betty inside the angle. That ball is going to be out. Range and power from the International Volleyball Assassin. The arm for hire, number 81.
She only uses it for her own team, though.
Set point, De La Cruz Mejia. So far, her picks paying off. Kojima with the dig. Valentina Anderson continuing at the line, putting pressure on the opponent. Rishel, another dig from Kojima. No swing from Betty, conservative. Good touch, Dixon. She works hard in transition. Betty gets it, trying to shoot it down the line, and that is vintage Big Beth. You pick the year, age to perfection, crack it open, let it breathe a little bit, and pour yourself a glass of set number 1 victory. 25-18, looking awfully efficient at the end. Betania de la Cruz, the captain, goes 6 for 10, and her side is up. Team De La Cruz Mejia successful in the first set, 25-18. They stretch out the lead from a mid-set tie to come away with a solid victory and a little bit of an advantage headed into the second set. It was a team effort, Key Michael, to get there.
Yeah, this is the kind of team we saw in week 1 that Betty had put together, and she's kind of done a little repeat here. She is the star of the show as per usual. She's only had to receive 2 balls though, and that means that she can attack at will. At 60% is her efficiency in the attack so far. She's got Tori Dixon doing big work as well. And again, Kat Bell, who is hitting 50% in that opposite spot. Those are some big numbers, and I like that she's got Hoffman, right? That was the one piece of the puzzle that we think has increased the strength of this team, was having Hoffman. She's got a 44% positive in her reception. So here, look at the total kills. That's what I'm looking at. 14-9 on Cruz de la He. Oh, look, De La Cruz, Team De La Cruz Mejia. Wow, words are hard. The digs and the kills are the numbers that are standing out there for me.
We were just talking about the hyphens with a couple of players before the match.
Yeah.
If everyone goes hyphen on hyphen, what happens if you're double hyphening? Well, we don't know yet. We may find out from some of these women as we go along. We do know that if you join the Unlimited Club, you can go ahead and vote on game MVPs, compete in the AU Fantasy League for exclusive prizes, and more. Sign up now at auprovolleyball.com. All right, changes here, Key Michael, for team member Monet in the second set. What can they do to counteract some of the things that are going well for these women in orange?
Well, they have to handle that first contact better. I think Lecator member Monet was doing a good job, but she wasn't targeted the entire time. The orange side, Valentine Anderson in particular, was finding ways to get this player out of system and out of her strength. So they were bringing her really short. They were making her move there on the right side. They were also finding some seams. So the players in the orange jerseys doing a much better job of keeping the blue side out of system, off the net, and then running their offense.
Maddie Kingdon-Rishel has to be getting tired of this. Her stat points have been exceptional. Her win points have been extremely low. She is 4th in stat points among the league's elite, and then she is 8th overall on the leaderboard because she just can't pick up that many wins for whatever reason on her side. She loses another set there, and everyone on the De La Cruz Mejia side picks up 40 points for their score.
What's interesting as well is we've talked about her as a big point scorer. She's got 1 point right now. She's been set 12 times. Only able to get 1 kill. So Betty's team is just really finding ways to stop her. They are making her swing out high and look for touches when they're not there.
Team De La Cruz Mejia is going to start in that same rotation with Valentine Anderson at the line. And immediately out of it is Kayla Hanline and team member Monet.
I think that's a great choice by Marley Monserrat. Use Hanline when she can, when that ball is perfect. Again, establishing the middle early days in the match, in the set, opens up the pins later on.
Nebraska native, went to Northern Iowa, but that was a while ago now. 30 years old, she's a seasoned pro, having played in a multitude of countries. Number 26, who's still in the front row, Hanline, as that ball is killed by Capel.
Capel still hitting at over 50% efficiency for an opposite. That's big.
Betty from the line. Johnson, whose name we haven't called much yet. Opposites doing battle. That one's blocked right back down the body of Bell and called out of bounds. And that, from our location, went right off of her, but they are not going to challenge. They would 100% win this challenge.
Interesting. Yeah, it goes right back off her shoulder. From where we're sitting, it did. From that angle, it's tougher to see.
Should I wave my hands or something? Should we send her the bat signal, a flare?
Can they?
Do you have a road flare? Fire it. Might be the fire marshal might come. Well, they're missing that one. Let's see if it turns into something. Perfect pass, back row. Where do you go? And they lose another. So what could have been a successful challenge turns into 2 points instead. A 3-1 start for De La Cruz Mejia.
Capel's stats just pumping up and up and up. 5 kills. She's adding that bit of balance that Betty is always looking for on the other side of the net, or the side of the court, I should say.
Tip over the top. That sounded like it might have hit the ground. Jammed over the top. Monserrat with the dig. Well off the net. Remember, Monet never met a big swing she didn't take.
I gotta have another look at that pancake. I was so impressed by it. But I'm thinking, do we think it touched the floor? Let's get another look at it right here. But Nachi's so scrappy, so fast. That looks up to me.
Yeah, from that angle, though. It looks good.
Doesn't matter. Lecator with all kinds of angles.
Hoffman, perfect pass. That's what she's here to do. Mrs. Long, no touch called. Her whole team signaled it, but none of them are wearing a white collar shirt.
Is Betty wearing a white collared shirt?
No, the referees are though.
Oh, gotcha.
Not as easy as the zebra stripes.
Gotcha.
Right side, Capel, nice and high. Remember, Monet with athletic play. And it pays off on the other side of the net. Willow Johnson with the off-speed winner. 4-3.
Johnson figuring out that space right behind the well-formed block is going to be a confusion area between Bell and her libero.
Handline, another flat serve. Kojima, perfect pass. Oh. And Dixon takes the delivery. Looking for Tori Dixon's numbers here. She is now 4 for 4. That'll do.
100%?
Yeah, you might want to set her a few more times.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Gonna have a hard time setting her because she's in the back row. Willow, big swing, block is right there. Dixon, high ball to Bell. And even in today's game, that will get called. That had a lot of spin on it.
I was about to comment on Tori Dixon's set and how absolutely clean and perfect it was from a middle.
Buttery?
Buttery, crispy, all of the things.
Nice little delivery to the front by Kojima. Another dig. Okay, this is one of the things about Japanese volleyball. If you don't know, if you arrive to play the Japanese national team, when you walk in the gym, they are in the gym spiking and digging. Then you will play the match, shower, go to get on the bus. As you're walking away from the gym, they will be in there spiking and digging.
Yeah.
That amount of context leads to things like that scoop pass, that scoop set that you saw a couple of plays ago from Kojima.
Yeah, just a completely whole nother level of volleyball training over there. I know Danny Drews was nodding when you mentioned this in the draft as well. They train not only longer, more hours, but just more contacts, contact. Reps.
Vinay blasts that one long. There is a both funny but also probably sad video of the heyday of Japanese women's volleyball back in the 60s. The coach, a noted tyrant, is hitting balls at a player in a coach-on-one situation. The player at some point has had enough, starts charging the coach to attack the coach, and the coach never stops hitting balls at her as she gets within a foot, and he just hits a ball at her and she grabs him.
She grabs him or the ball?
Oh no, she's grabbing him.
What happened?
Bad things.
I don't think I've ever had the guts to stand up to a coach and tell him to stop hitting balls at me.
How about charge him and try and choke him out?
No.
No. Never had a PJ Carlissimo type moment? No.
My anger management is completely under control.
All right, very good. Outside, Betty trying to go high, snap. Kingdon will scoop and get it back, and she will deliver with a kill. +8 for Maddie Kingdon-Ruschel.
She's been the one question mark for me right now on the blue side. I think things are functioning at a decent level, but Maddie not hitting the numbers that we've seen so far from her. She's only at 3 points so far, but if she's going to balance things out on Lekator's side, she has to score a little more.
Betty reaches again. Did she get a touch? No, she did not. A little bit of frustration on the face of Betty for a moment, and then a big smile. 9-6, Member Monet with a little bit of an advantage here, and they have done well in this rotation with Emily Thader at the line.
She told us a bit about her strategy in serving when she was in the chair moments ago. She's going aggressive.
That was not part of it.
That wasn't part of the strategy, but the contacts, searching for the deep line, searching for seams between players. So she's focusing on the process, not the outcome.
That was a little 8-3 exchange there, because remember Manet was down 3-1 to open this second set. And this is where you want to start watching that overall score. Tipped over the top, charging Kat Bell, not quite. So this is where you want to look at that overall score. Of course, coming out of the first set, the lead was 7. And now, with the lead having gone the other direction, you look at 32-28. If you can't do math, that is 4. And that is for the overall.
Wait, let me check that. Yes, 4.
Okay, 60 Correct. Team points. Thank you, Keith. Will be awarded for the overall victory. Tori Dixon continues her path to perfection. It's 5 for 5 for Michael Jordan.
Tori Dixon coming in hot today. I think she's always a consistent player, but right now on this Orange squad, especially with Betty as captain, Cat Bell taking a lot of the load, and she likes that fast set from Valentina Anderson as well. She's in her element.
Well, she and Nati were together this morning. That ball salvaged by member Monet. There goes the perfect record. Rishel, a little bit low. Blasted anyway. Kojima, another dig. She is just eating that angle up. Oh, swing and a miss there for two of the defenders on the cover.
I still love that play, and you see why these two players, in particular, Nati Valentina Anderson and Monomi Kojima, were picked second and third in the draft. Defense is part of the strategy, that has to be part of the strategy if you want to be solid in the offense.
They do really have exceptional passing at the moment on the orange side. Roll shot, Kojima again there. Bell snapping over the top, beautifully done. Gooseneck,
The love in basketball, flick of the wrist. There's the dig and the defense that you're talking about, Kevin. The reps and just the way that her body moves is so smooth. She has done that 5,000 times.
That's an undercount.
This year alone.
Yeah, that might be more right, more like it. Betty from the line, her team down 2. Delivery to the captain, who laces it down the line. Thing of beauty right there. 57 miles an hour on that spike.
I start to see the eyes, the Lector Member Monet eyes, that are reminiscent of those of Betty. Wonder if she learned that from being with Betty the last 2 weeks, or she brought that her own from former
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never looked her in the eyes. You don't look a predator in the eyes. You're liable to have something bad happening to you. I don't want to take a spike to the face.
Not off court.
Lecator again, into the angle, out of bounds, swinging high and hard off the hands of Dixon.
I actually went to speak to Lector before the match because I wanted to know what style of captain she is. Her players had a lot of good words to say about her. But I said, what have you been doing in training? What have you been doing to prepare? She said, look, we just like to play 6-on-6. I want our players to get used to playing together, kind of find our own style. She knows that this is a talented team she's put together. She's not worried about that. She just wants them to mesh well together.
Middles maybe getting a little too aggressive. Both Thader and Hanline have missed their last rotation there. So I'll put Thader back to the front row. Set over. Oh, that one was thrown deep. Montserrat with an aggressive attack.
Nobody's seeing that coming. I also love how you see players kind of support each other and root for each other. Lector Member Monet smiling even harder after that set over than she did after her own kill.
Into the middle, opportunity again. Montserrat, Member Monet. Oh, look at that touch. Oh, doesn't matter. Thader picks up another stuff block. 12 more points for that one right there. And her team moving on to the technical timeout, this time with a sizable advantage. 15-10 in this set. And now the overall, they've closed to within 2 with that stuff block there. They trail 35-33, but they are on the charge. Team member Monet trailing coming out of the first set. They lead here in the second, and they're within 2 in the overall, 35-33 here in Mesa, Arizona. Break here at the technical timeout gives us a chance to go into the game with the U.S. Air Force and the first-time captain Lecator member Monet.
I heard your cat's mom. So nice to meet you. You know your daughter loves you. I know she does. And I love you too. And we're gonna hit it with a quick. Yeah! Here we go. Yeah, Maddie. Hey. Yes. Yeah. I'll challenge a touch on that one. Yeah.
If that doesn't show you what Athletes Unlimited is really about, she goes over to give a hug to Kat's mom. She has not even played with Kat Bell this whole season, but yet there's a camaraderie there. Love it.
Yeah, a real sense of family for all these women living and training together, of course, in the different combinations. Teams drafted on Tuesdays and then playing 3 days together. We are in week 3 here. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympian Key Michael. We play 3 nights, Friday, Sunday, Monday, and then redraft on Tuesday. This is the first of week 3. Ball to the outside. Hoffman, #1 draft pick, playing like it.
And Hoffman, the last swing she took, blockers all over it, shutting her down. But I don't think she's here to be an aggressive point-scoring outside hitter. She's here to take care of the reception. And every once in a while, she's going to get an option to swing.
Valentina Anderson underneath it. Kojima this time with the hands. No swing. Wow. Charging Namaris Velez Augusto. Hoffman slices that one off. Member Monet off blocker defense. I haven't seen a ball go down on the angle yet against Kojima.
Or Betty gets set.
That ball off the block and out of bounds. Lecator member Monet continues her aggressive stance on that left-hand side. Looking for her numbers here.
There's
6
the
kills.
tip. Pick up. Excuse me. There's the final point. I was watching that whole rally, and I have to correct myself. There was a tip from Betty, but she kept charging like she wanted to get the ball, and it kept going to Kat and outside to Hoffman.
Backslide, block is there. Kojima runs down the second contact. She'll hustle back into the left back.
Come on, team, go.
Nati off. Yeah, tips and rolls are not really going. Someone has to heat it up. Kat leans into it, gets the touch and the points. +8 for that kill.
The other thing to notice is when you do see tips and rolls, you want to see a team being strategic with it. So in this case, they've tried to get Betty off the attack by a tip and roll. We've seen a couple go to Kat Bell and get her out of the offense. That, if you're on the blue side right now, you want to take those 2 hitters out, force that ball to go outside to Hoffman.
Monserrat tries to save it, indeed does, as does Namaris. Namaris, second dig. And it pays off with a Kingdom kill through the block.
Namaris Velez Augusto, where have you been this season?
Not with Betty, strangely.
Not with Betty, yeah. I mean, she nearly knocks her captain over there to get the dig. Now she's with Lecator member Monet. But I think maybe she's just on a hot streak.
Backslide, Kaz Brown collects it easily. Savannah Collins, where have you been? What do you know?
Well, coming out of that last huddle, the thing that Legator member Monet told her team was over-communicate. And my seat is right beside this blue bench, and man, have they done that. They are calling out every block, every shot they think they're seeing from the orange side. It's almost like I'm able to anticipate what's going to happen in this match because the bench is doing the same thing for the 6 players on the court. I know when she said that, she probably meant to everybody on defense and playing, but the bench is contributing in a huge way this game for the blue team.
That's really good to hear. That's exactly what Legator member Monet was saying also about learning to play together, learning to be a team has so much to do with the communication.
There's a kill into the angle, but it's Hoffman playing defense there. The double sub is on with Nutsara and Sheridan Atkinson, but only for a moment. Quick unwind of that.
There's another look at the communication, right? Remember Monet calling everyone off, including the libero who's right in front of her, saying, I'm stepping in to set this. Gets a nice clean ball up to Maddie Kingdon.
Set her to the service line. Willow Johnson back to the front row. Betty left side, big approach. Instead of a nice touch from Johnson, will she pay it off? That tip is not going down here or in Japan. And the ball is hit off the block.
I was also watching Monami Kojima's face as she was running to get that ball up. She loves it.
Oh, yeah.
She loves playing defense. She's smiling that she got to run that down and let everyone else just focus on their role.
She's been stellar in this match so far. You can just spend a little time watching Kojima. She's credited with just 11 digs, but there are a host of other things that don't go in as a dig in the stat sheet. There's another one, 12. Piling up the points for that. +5 for every dig. Hoffman, nice overhand. And Kat Bell again, struck high and finding the edges.
This is Betty's team at its best. When the defense is firing, Kojima at the heart and soul of that, but even when the blockers pull their hands away, she's popping that ball up, and then Kat Bell able to just come in really fluidly and hitting high over the block.
Okay, but here's the thing. For all the good plays we've seen, they trail by 3.
I know. It doesn't feel like it.
No, sometimes the momentum doesn't. Opportunity to close to 2. Kingdon reaches back with the left. That ball's too tight. Easy manage there. Kingdon Ruschel works off the block, gets the kill. 19-15. So in fact, the momentum going the other direction for Team Dela Cruz Mejia. Kaz Brown, feels like you guys are playing some good volleyball out there, but team member Monet with the lead. What is happening?
Yeah, I think that they're having a lot of success on offense. They have some big attackers, and we knew that they were going to come in with heavy arms. So it's just a matter of getting the momentum back on our side. I mean, they've got power hitters, we have power hitters, so we know that the game is going to kind of ebb and flow.
Kaz, same question I asked to Emily Thader, who we got in the chair. I love that we're getting middles right off the floor.
Yeah, me too.
Who are you paying attention to? So when you're up there blocking, you've got a few different faces in front of you. You've got Willow Johnson, Legator member Monet. What's your priority?
That's a great question. I think it all starts with the pass. So if they're in system, you know, it's you have to be neutral and read. But I think right now, Lek has had the hot hand. So there's definitely a lot of emphasis on her, but they have a really balanced attacking team. So I think anybody has the, you know, chance to succeed any given minute.
You've been paired a number of times with Tori Dixon. What is it you think about the two of you that has teams drafting both of you often?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I love playing with Tori, so I'm definitely super happy about it. I think she's a really disciplined blocker, and so I definitely taken a lot of notes from her. I love being paired with her. I think her and I can both attack in front or behind the setter, so I think we offer a lot of versatility on that end as well.
So much versatility. And when you have someone like Betty behind you serving absolute bullets, we just saw an ace there while we were talking. How does that affect your blocking style, if at all?
I mean, it makes my job a lot easier when she's back there getting aces, but also getting teams out of system, right? That really, you know, limits their options on offense, which makes it a lot easier. Oh, I gotta go. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kat. Kaz Brown, sorry, Kaz and Kat. Kaz headed back.
We didn't give her any chance to breathe, get a sip of water, nothing. Back in.
Nope, talk to us. Dixon with the dig. Betty with the delivery, and they're back within one. If your team member Monet, do you call a timeout? The captain needs to call it. Facilitator still on the bench. Member Monet, no thought of it. Looking for the tie. Dixon. Captain, that ball's a little low, and she blasts it too long. We're tied. And now might be the time, 20 apiece. Second set all of a sudden in doubt. Rischel 7 kills, Monet 7 kills, now hitting 250, that dropping with that last swing. Johnson blocked, and now they trail.
There you go, Kaz. Exactly what we just talked about in the chair. How do you focus on which player to block? Well, first it starts with a really tough start. You see Marley Monserrat a little off the net, and then Kaz can close up to Hoffman. Excellent execution.
6 on the last 7 points, won by Team Dela Cruz Mejia. And we were wondering about Claire Hoffman and that #1 pick update there. 3 kills, 2 digs, and a block, contributing with 57% perfect passing as well. #1 side, #1 team at 25-18, and now leading here in the second, the women in orange. All right, if you, no matter who you're a fan of, we have you covered at the AU Sports Shop. AU Pro Sports is now on Instagram. It's the best way to stay up on new arrivals, limited edition items, and our exclusive merch offerings. You can get any one of the 44 players from across Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball. Head on over to the AU Pro Shop at AU Pro Shop on Instagram to follow and connect. I've been wearing some of the merch, love it.
You have been.
Diversifying my look a bit.
And you didn't steal any of it. All of it was gifted and or bought.
And or boss? Is that what you
Bought.
All right. Team Betania de la Cruz Mejia is leading here, and she's also been leading at home. Betty a mom to her son Fair.
Fair means the world to me. It's my motivation. He also practices sports. He practices baseball, and he always wants to win. And I say, maybe he has something from me.
Betty Boumbaye from the service line.
Yeah! Big best!
When I hear my son saying, I'm so proud of you, you are the best, for me is like everything. When he say that, every effort, every time when I leave him to go to play, for me is all my world.
Oh, famous Fair, we miss him. I think that's one of the best pieces we've seen so far in Athletes Unlimited, because that is the human that Betty is. We all know her as this stellar volleyball player, the queen of the court, multiple-time Olympian. She's a mom, first and foremost, and that is her whole world. Oh, I'm tearing up a little bit thinking about it.
She used to be in a team at home, and she's been putting teams together here. Some pretty big shoes to fill for Claire Hoffman in this week 3.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this combination between Betty and Lekator in the last couple of weeks, how dynamic they've been, and we thought, okay, if you're losing Lekator, what are you going to fill? Who are you going to get to fill those shoes? Claire Hoffman stepping in as that first choice. And here are a couple of the numbers. Attacking efficiency, pretty similar. Kills, right there on par. But what she brings in addition is that positive reception in the passing unit, which is paying off.
We know that Savannah Collins is in addition to our broadcast as that ball is sided out and we're tied at 21. What do you have, Savannah?
Interesting insight, being able to listen into that orange huddle. Really not a big thing that they need to do in these last 4 points that they're away from winning this set. A lot of small adjustments, a lot of the two players matching up and talking about things that they want to work on together, like Kat Bell and Nati talking about the block. The bench giving tips to being able to pick up those tips. Small adjustments on the offense too. What spots look open? Where on the floor can we be effective? They are really fine-tuning here in the second set in the orange side.
Lecator is point scoring on the outside, high flying and strong. That tip gets the job done, and they're back in the lead.
It's interesting what Savannah was saying about fine-tuning those conversations that are happening on the orange side in particular, because I thought that Lecator's team did a really good job of taking Kat Bell out of the offense, tipping on her, making her play the ball, and forcing the ball to go out to Hoffman in the early stages of this set.
Member Monet again inside the block, but this time with some power. And Member Monet is now in double figures with her attack. She's up there in the front row with Montserrat and Fader. They are scoring, and within 2 of taking this second set, looking for those 40 team points. Another jig from Willow Johnson. +5 in the last 2 rallies each time. Ball blast down the line and a little walk-off. Member Monet just flipped the bat and walked the bases.
There's got to be so much on the line, specifically in this set, right? Not winning the first one, but trying to prove that Lecator is her own player. She is her own star in her own right. We've been talking about her as Betty's right-hand woman. She's a star in her own right.
A sidekick no more. She'll get her own movie in the AU universe.
Yes.
All right, set point number 1 saved. Set point number 2 coming right now for team member Monet. Bell down the line. Monet, overhand reception. Left for Kingdon, who puts it away, and that'll do it in set 2. A fine response, especially to the push at the end of the set. Team member Monet from 21 apiece goes on a 4-1 run to finish out the set. They are within 4 in the overall. We've split the first 2. It is 47-43 headed to the third. Week 3, 3 nights of play, always 3 sets. We begin the finish of this first of 2. 47-43, team member Monet and team De La Cruz Mejia split the first 2 sets. Who will take 100 team points available here in the third? Kevin Barnett alongside Olympian Key Michael. You're looking at team member Monet, who was forced to respond after a first set defeat. They have come back to a 25-22 victory in the second set, and we arrive at this third set. A little switcheroo in the first and the second. Key, where do we go from here? Who's carrying the momentum?
Well, we've seen some fantastic play on both sides, but for me, I need to see more of Maddie Kingdon Rochelle on the blue side. She only had 1 point in the first set, then she stepped it up. She was a big part of that second set victory for Lecator member Monet's team.
Okay, so Maddie Kingdon Rochelle provides some of the stability, and jumping off of that platform, the captain down the stretch, scoring points.
Yeah, she is a big point scorer always. That's what she loves to do. So here's what she's done so far. These points have been coming strong and fast from the outside. Basically, she's taken that offensive load. We haven't seen a whole lot of Willow Johnson. She is asking Marley Montserrat to put that ball higher. That was a conversation that was had. She wants to be able to reach to her peak. There you see her going down the line, hitting that corner, looking for the cross court. She is a player that's turning it on in her own right. No longer the right-hand woman to Betty De La Cruz.
Lecator member Monet, 11 kills, hitting 380 on the pin with 7 digs, doing work. She's being supported by Maddie Kingdon Rochelle, who has 8 kills, hitting 190 now, and that is a far cry from that 1 for 12 start. But we know Maddie Kingdon Rochelle is the kind of player that can just run points off. On the other side, it is now Kat Bell having herself a night, 11 kills, hitting 380 to go with 4 digs. Here's a look at the match stats overall.
It's interesting because look at the kills, 28-28. So in the first set, that was something we pointed out as being a big differential, was that Team De La Cruz Mejia was just scoring more points in terms of kills and putting up more digs. Now it's even Stevens in that regard.
So we enter set number 3 with a magic number of 22, and here's what that means. That means the team that is currently leading, De La Cruz Mejia, 47-43. Should they put up 22 points or more in this set, they will win the overall. It will be their victory and those 60 team points. So sometimes that number can get awfully small for a team if they've blown another team out in the first 2 sets, or even if they've split but one of those sets, one side had a larger victory. Here we've had very similar results. We're quite close, and it will, odds on, come down to the last few moments of this third set as to who takes the overall victory. Thanks for being with us. Overhead set, backslide. Monserrat with the dig to start. Willow Johnson. Betty off the hands, smartly done. Block and out.
We can't count Betty out. This second set looked like it was in the bag for Lekator's team, and they had to fight. They had to scrap there at the end after having a pretty big lead.
You count Betty out at your own peril.
Never.
All right, good rotation here for Team Dela Cruz Mejia. Valentin Anderson at the line. Kat Bell, Tori Dixon. Vitani Dela Cruz Mejia in the front row. Remember, Monet blast. Kojima picks it up. Kat Bell, another nice play. Perfect pancake. Brown on both sides. Fluffy. Bell reaches. Remember, Monet off the forearm. Oh, and if I'm Maddie Kingdon-Richel, I'm going to start hitting some line, because it is frustrating, but Johnson picks up the block there. She will collect the points. That's 12 of them for a block.
Great start for Member Monet's side. Have a look at this. Betty struggling to find the floor because Marley Monserrat all over it, just behind the block. It's a well-formed block. Even better pancake, like you mentioned. Fluffy with butter, maple syrup even.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Maybe I'll throw an ace on the side of my cakes. Kingdon-Richel picking up that. And an ace is worth a ton of points as well. For every ace that you throw out, that is another plus 12. And that is your individual score. Richel's been piling up those individual points. She's looking for more team success in this week 3. Plus 5 for the dig there for Noma. Kojima is just everywhere. Into the angle, bumps that outside with a little bit of pace. You get a dig, and you get a dig, and you get a dig.
Everybody gets a dig. Oprah would be proud.
Kojima, another 5 points. And Kat Bell, an auspicious end to what was a tremendous rally.
Extremely long rally, but well-deserved there by Lekator member Monet's side. They're not able to earn points easily. We keep talking about Manami Kojima and how she's keeping the ball off the floor.
Kingdon-Richel serving. Oh, skipping it off the tape. Smartly taken by the veteran Dixon. And unable to be played back. That is a middle's responsibility. That little skip serve off the table.
Yeah, 100%. You've always got to be ready for those little dribblers, as I like to call them, that you're kind of the only one in the zone, so well handled there. On the orange side.
I love that if you take the dribbler reference and you really dissect it, you're talking about like dribbling water out of your mouth or something, just going over the back of the net.
That's a visual I didn't need.
Yeah, that's a weird, funny one.
All right.
Yeah. Member Monet's been working a lot of angle and the block.
Yeah, Member Monet, I've just been so impressed with her throughout this season, over and over again, but even more so here now when she's taking this huge responsibility as kind of the main point scorer on her side. She loves to swing off the block, into the block, around the angles. She's targeting the hands of the blockers first and foremost.
I was wondering if this team Member Monet was kind of the juggernaut squad coming into the week. I was just looking at the pins. Member Monet, who's been performing, obviously. Johnson, whose stock's been rising. Kingdon-Richel, who's been piling up those individual points. It seems to me that they could be, if you had to pick a team to go undefeated on the weekend, they might be top of the list.
I also have my eyes on Team Drews, the purple squad. Between Drews and Nunaviller, and they've got Sydney, Hilly. But this is a tough team to beat. Lekator is really stepping on the gas. It's interesting because I thought that we would see a little bit more of Maddie Rachel, who's been one of the top point scorers. She only had 1 point in the first set. She stepped it up in the second set with 7 points. But Lekator is really just doing all the damage by herself.
13 kills, hitting 370, and she's a transition nightmare right now. Thader is a wall.
So if the orange side cannot find a way to score, what is the solution here? Because we've seen them on the tips and rolls. Now we're seeing a big swing there from Kaz Brown, but the blocking stepping up. What are the options?
Thader now with 3 blocks. That's going to total 36 individual points. For all those stops, out of the back row comes Kingdon Risher, who's taking good swings and getting dug a fair amount. Benet, another directed tip, and it goes again. She is really changing the direction of the ball at the point of contact.
And that's what you want in a good attacking pin. It's variety. You see her swing hard earlier. You went into the hand. Now she gets really high, brings that ball back inside the antenna, and just kind of a soft touch. A little bit of everything from Member Benet tonight.
A little crossbody action there. Kaz Brown with the kill, and De La Cruz Mejia will try and get a run of their own together. They trail by 3 here in this set, and they now carry just a 1-point lead. Keep watching that number below there. The match total 51-50. That is for those 60 team points in the overall victory. Thader backslide. Kaz Brown gets enough of it. Oh, Kojima read the book of Montserrat, and Hoffman tore out the last page.
I continue to be in awe of Kojima. No one in the gym sees that from Montserrat. She is perfectly disguising it. And in comes the libero, just boop, easy pickup.
Did you just say the Kojima?
Did I?
I continue to be impressed with the Kojima, because she is an absolute digging machine back there.
The one and only. She's been phenomenal. And again, that is why Betty continues to choose her and not just waiting until she's the last libero on the court or on the draft. Picks her up right off the bat. Second pick.
Little 4-point run, and here we go. Tied at 7 and back to a 4-point lead in the overall. Team De La Cruz Mejia. Don't sleep on them. Don't even close your eyes.
Nope.
Team De La Cruz Mejia does not sleep. They just wait. Kaz Brown looked like she picked up the stuff that time. And that will cause a timeout to be called. That little run, 5 points from the other side. 5-0 has team member Benet wanting to talk about it. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. 55-50. Team Dela Cruz Mejia with a 5-point lead and just one in this set. They're looking for 100 team points. And you might be looking to support your favorite AU Pro athlete. You can go to the new AU Pro Athletes Marketplace. It's a hub for businesses and fans to engage with AU athletes directly in a variety of individual NIL activities. Go on over to auprosports.com/marketplace. See how you can support your favorite athlete today. All right, listen, Adjunct Professor Key has been let go. That means your regular instructor is back. Here's Professor Savannah Collins.
The leaderboard is in session, and there's someone I want to point out in particular. It's Maddie Kingdon-Richel. So for comparison, I have our top 2 players right now on the leaderboard. Brittany Abercrombie in first, but Tanya De La Cruz Mejia, who's in second. Anything in pink, they're the leader in these leaderboard categories. Here's how Maddie fits in. So you can see the stat categories for here: 875 for Brittany, 881 for Betty. She has 687 stat points. In fact, she was second in kills coming into today. She had 89. So that's where she's really picking things up on stat points. She's in here when it comes to stat points. MVP, she's been voted an MVP in 4 out of 6 matches this season. She's consistently killing it. 160 points there. Again, she's still in the race, but this is where she struggles. 320 win points. To break it down, she has 200 from set wins. You get 40 from those. And then she has 120 from game wins. Maddie Kingdon-Richel has only won 2 games so far this season. If she can pick up this category, that's when I see number 8 on the leaderboard make a rise into the category of these 2. So as we're heading into week 3, this is my player to watch if she can get this category going.
Savannah and I might both be teachers, but we are teaching completely different classrooms. She's on the math. I'm on anything but the math. That's a great way to see it, though. I wouldn't have been able to put that out for you.
Yours is kind of a fusion of food and lingo. It's an odd course and probably an elective. This is more of a core requirement for your graduation. All right, detailing why team success is important. Will they have team success here for team member Monet? They did in the second set. And here in the third, they are trailing once again. That ball hitting the ceiling and coming down. Ceiling is good, but you do have to play it. You can't let it bounce and then start again. 10-7. Yeah, it is an 8-0 run. Team Dela Cruz Mejia now. Take it back at 7. Maybe 8. No, it ends at 7 via fader kill.
Question now for team member Monet is who else is stepping up. So we've seen Lecator herself with 15 points on the stat board. Maddie Rochelle creeping up as well in that second set. She was impressive. I need to see more middle. Fader, one of them.
How about aces? Do you need to see more of that?
I do indeed.
Yeah, the captain, she continues her night. You talk about stat points piling up. 14 kills, 8 digs. She's got a couple of control blocks. Those are going to score. Now she's going to add an ace to that. That is going to be plus 12 for that particular serve. She'll go down the line again, this time a little bit long, trying to pick on Hoffman.
What's interesting, we talked in the intro that Lecator hadn't had to face Betty's serve yet. But likewise, Betty hadn't had to face Lecator's serve.
That's true. That's true. Now, here's the interesting thing about that exchange right there, right? We've seen ace and error before. You get plus 12 for the ace. You get minus 8 for the error. So you're really only plus 4 on the whole exchange if you're unable to keep serving in. Those are for your individual points, and you're going to make a hitting error. That will also count against you. That is minus 12 for Maddie Kingdon-Richel. Pretty quality swing, it's just not in the court.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting because players have an idea of how they like to play. Aggressive, look for lines, look for corners, look for hands. But that risk really heightens when you are losing points every time you make an error.
Inside the block and down. Betty with a fortunate break.
This combination, this duo is one that's star quality this year, this season. A libero with her captain. It's a beautiful love story.
I think if you want to make it a triumvirate, you could just throw Nati in there for all the benefits she has defensively and delivering the ball to Betty where she wants it.
True. If she had been involved in that hug, maybe.
She's got to jump in there, like on the
Jump
top.
in.
Just jump in the back.
Jump in the hugs. Natty.
Cling like you're a small marsupial or something. Just hold on to your mom, looking for the pocket. Ball a little bit tight, reached over the top. Sometimes you just watch Betty go next level.
Yeah. Betty has so many levels to her game. And when we talk about one of the veterans of this league, former champion of this league, there's a reason why she can have a bad night at the office. We saw that in the last match against Team Abercrombie last weekend. Doesn't matter. She comes popping right back into the way she was.
Excuse me, Key. Once and always, okay? No former about it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like you are once and always an Olympian, all right?
I like that.
Other people are twice and always. Some people are 5 times and always.
Some people don't even know you played volleyball, Kevin.
That I didn't, as far as the YouTube is concerned. Outside. Rishel, she's played some volleyball, and there is the power of Maddie.
Maddie's kind of the missing link for me on this Lecter member Monet side. She's been so dominant all season long. Has to be able to find that and let that be expressed here on Lecter's team as well.
Yeah, 9 of 36, and a majority of that frustration as that ball's over the top and down has come because of the angle digging skills of Manami Kojima.
Oh yeah, yep. And that's what Maddie, she's been pretty successful. She likes that inside kind of like thumb down, wrist away, find that sharp angle, but Manami Kojima kind of just sitting in that pocket over and over again. It's frustrating if you're an attacker, you try to do your favorite thing and you can't get it done.
Get another shot out here, throws it into the block, and that will go down as a stuff block. Kat Bell continuing to fill her statistical categories.
Yeah, Bell's been a super bright spot for Team De La Cruz Mejia.
Yeah, a lot of lumens. That's how you measure light.
Oh.
Candlelight, lumens, yeah.
So you'd be teaching chemistry then if you were on the whiteboard.
Well, no, it'd be just random trivia.
Just random.
Yeah, it'd be random stuff.
So you got me for languages, English. You got Savannah for the math.
Yep.
And Kevin just for random,
Yeah.
non-important.
Certainly also an elective, and welcome to the jeopardy of college classes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Here we go. Overhead. Betania can't quite get there this time off the block. Left side, Bell. Inside the block. That was a sharp angle. Betty clearing the runway and flying in the air.
That's a team play right there. Nati stepping in behind Betty to take that ball. Maybe Betty didn't want her to take it because she's the setter. Maybe that's not the ideal situation, but better than Betty taking it herself. And then you see, as you mentioned, Betty able to pull, do a complete approach, make some space, and get a full attack.
Maybe Betty can make some space here with a full attack from the service line. Working on Monet, who passes it perfectly. Kojima, left foot in the air, because you can't be touching on the other side of the 10-foot line if you use your hands as a libero. And Johnson comes back the other way off her own libero. The set there from Amaris Velez and Augusto, the volleyball law firm. They have a billboard outside the Phoenix airport now.
Lulu Johnson hasn't really found what makes her her in this team just yet. She's had 18 possibilities to attack, only 3 kills. Those numbers are way low for her, and I think Lecter member Renee will be thinking about how maybe they can get her more involved as the matches go on this weekend.
Paige brings Romine on to serve. She has a lot at stake here. The only undefeated player on the floor right now. Has not lost a match this year. That ball off Hoffman is out, and Paige brings Romine will stay at the service line. I said, how you doing with not starting? And she said, look, I'm just trying to stay positive. Trying to stay positive about the whole thing. I have a choice in how I feel about the situation, and I'm one of 44. I'm here to contribute. She's doing just that from the service line. Good chip shot. Romine a little too far, saved by Montserrat, who was below the level of the net. Legal play. Kojima just standing there waiting on the quick attack. Kat Bell sends a souvenir into the stands. Team De La Cruz Mejia, remember their magic number. If they put up 22 points in this set, they will have enough to eclipse any of the remaining points available for Team Member Monet for the overall victory. It is done on that aggregate score there. The lead currently 65-58. Nice high swing, more defense from the setter position. And more defense at the net from Emily Thader.
Middles on middles, violence. I thought Kaz Brown was in a good heads-up play there after pretty good defense, goes straight on the net, but she can't see Thader, right? She's looking towards the defense that's come at her from Nati. Goes over her shoulder, good work by Thader to take it.
Hard to miss Thader now with 4 blocks. Rischel, +5. Benet, she's gonna add again. That's gonna be +8 for that kill and some 2 to go with it. I like the dynamic there between Thader and Benet.
Yeah, well, remember Monet handpicked everyone on this team, right? So there's a feeling that goes along with that, thinking I didn't just get brought in by a coach. It's no, my teammate, my captain, she wants me here. That's a confidence boost.
Betty back row, Namaris shanks it. (19-17). That's going to be just enough to win a set, and in this case, should they continue to hold on to that lead, it will be enough to win the match as well. 100 team points still available. And remember, everybody on the team gets those added to their individual score. That's what's been the missing part for Kingdon Rischel. That ball is called down. Thader with the kill. So Thader has been a blocking standout. That'll be her 5th kill now, and she's going to be hitting 500 while picking up 4 stuffs and 3 controls. Yeah, the 1-4, high value.
Yeah, and that's why she's chosen so early by Member Monet. She was the 3rd pick. That's right after the outside and the opposite. All the pins are taken care of, then she grabs Thader.
Uh-oh, Marley Montserrat caught the camera as she reached for that ball, and she's holding her hand. Hopefully she's okay. Immediately, everyone on the team surrounding her.
Ooh, that looked painful, yeah. Finger stuck. Reminder, Maddie Bug is the other setter.
Yeah.
On the side for, like to remember, Monet. Certainly fantastic setter in her own right, if needed.
They're together again. Same thing last week. Bug getting the start first 2 nights. Betty gets a touch there. And she'll get the return and put it away. 21 points now for Team De La Cruz Mejia, and so they are on a match ball, and we will have a timeout. So an opportunity to close those 60 team points right now for Team Member Monet, or pardon me, for Team De La Cruz Mejia after this Team Member Monet timeout. Gives us a chance to go into the game once again with Claire Hoffman. Let's do it.
We're just warming up. Go orange. We're spritz, team spritz for the week. That's all I got. Go Dogs. Go Come on! There we go. You never know. See how good these cameras actually are. Huh? Yeah, do whatever you did in serve and pass. It went.
I know. She warmed up now, not coming.
Come on, yes, hi. I feel like she hit it with weird spin too.
Yeah,
so
I
they
agree.
might. Just letting everyone know I'm mic'd.
Oh. Okay.
Not that they're gonna post anything foul. I'm mic'd up.
You gotta tell me when you're mic'd.
I swear I said it in the locker room.
It's adrenaline. I didn't mean anything bad.
Hey, if Nati gets an ace, she has to Dougie.
Ah, yeah.
Orange spritz! Come on.
Whole court.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come on.
I love love Nachi saying, you gotta tell me when you're mic'd up. Getting in there with some sneaky words. Well, Hoffman giving it away that they're the Spritz this week. I'm surprised no one's had that before. I think it's the first time in Athletes Unlimited history we've had Team Spritz, and I don't know why I didn't think of that first.
Aperol, they're looking for a sponsorship. That seems good. That seems good. Listen, if you want to come experience AU Pro Volleyball in person, you need to do it this year. We're in Mesa, Arizona for another 2 weeks after this, and including the rest of this weekend, Sunday and Monday. Tomorrow is Starling's Impact Week, featuring an Elastic Sports headband giveaway for the first 250 fans. So Starling's Impact Match of the Week. Go to auprovolleyball.com to buy your tickets today. A look at the match coming up, 10:30 Eastern. That is 7:30 out on the Best Coast. It'll be Team Drews taking on Team Abercrombie. Team Abercrombie wearing those gold jerseys because their captain is the #1 ranked player in the league coming into tonight.
That steal in that spot from Betty. They wore it last week, but that's going to be a really fun match to watch as well as the week winds down. It's going to be orange versus gold on the last night of the last match. Can't wait to see that rematch.
So Hoffman to serve. This will be a match ball, looking for that 22nd point where no matter how many points member Monet scores at that point, they cannot eclipse the points already earned by De La Cruz Mejia, should they pull in with 69 here on this play. Not yet. Johnson with the kill, and now if they can go on an absolute tear, all you're looking for is a 6-0 run. Entirely possible. Entirely possible.
Is that it? Oh, easy. Done.
All right. Sounds even easier with a slight British accent.
All right, Gav, now we got this.
You got a good serve from at the line here. Down the line is good. But you're facing Betty, so that's not going to work out for you. Plus 60 points with that swing. Team De La Cruz Mejia is going to take the victory, and unfortunately, Paige Briggs Romine goes down.
In any accent, in any language, Betty De La Cruz will get the kill.
Kaz Brown, sharp, aggressive serve. And that ball wide, no touch called. You do have challenges. You can challenge. We have not had one in this set. We saw team member Monet lose 2 in the first.
I was looking at Tori Dixon as well after that ball went, and she looked like she was hiding her face a little bit from the cameras and from the blue side. Potentially got a little touchy touch there.
Oh, you middles.
We are sneaky. We are sneaky. We make a living off of, you know, having the ball touch your fingertips. And
being deceptive?
Yeah, and just saying nothing.
23-19.
I will not apologize.
No challenge called. All right. No apologies given by Key Michael, the Olympian. Bethany De La Cruz, roll shot. Montserrat with the dig. Johnson way off the net. Not much to do with that one. Dixon is good. But now we will have a challenge. That one looked like it had a lot of length on it. We will see. For the moment, Tori Dixon's attack is called in. And Dixon does not have an error, nor has she been blocked so far. Will that change? And big one here, because De La Cruz Mejia would find themselves at the doorway of winning the set as well, 40 team points, and closing out our 3 sets. And that ball is wide. Ooh. And that is well wide.
I think Dixon knew it as well. You see it on her face.
So we'll unwind that to 23-20. There is still hope. Looking for this set victory. Those 40 points so important. You had Savannah detail it earlier. Team success, 100% necessary for your own individual success in the championship chase. Set over. Everybody reading that one. Rishel, that one was good. Nice chase. Montserrat. Little reset there. Everybody getting a little creative. That ball is set down by Montserrat. They come closer. Within 2.
Was that 2 jumps by Monserrat in the same rally?
Sometimes setters get a little self-booyah going. I think it just goes off in their head. Booyah, booyah, booyah. And they just want to put the ball over all the time.
Feeling confident. I like it.
It's kind of a hero or zero play.
I'm here for it.
Okay. Betty, a little off the net. She'll chisel. One of 13 ways Betty can get a kill. All right, 24-21. Set point.
Well, that 13 reasons why Betty could be wearing the gold jersey again soon.
Keith, thanks for playing along.
Sometimes, yeah.
Thanks for playing along. 24-21. Hope you're enjoying the end of our first match. Back row, the captain into the net. A tough ending for what was an outstanding match for most of it. 25-21. De La Cruz Mejia will collect plus 40 for that set, and they will run their total in this match to plus 140 team points overall. On the other side, with that second set victory, they get plus 40 team points for team member Monet.
And I'm just thinking back to the draft again. Betty De La Cruz knew she was going to be a top point scorer, had to be in this match. She ends up with 18, but she's got Kat Bell on the outside putting up 14 points. I think the strategy she put together of a good first contact from Hoffman combined with some strong middles play, I think this team is looking very good going into this weekend.
72-64 ends up being the final score. Remember, we play 3 sets all the time, and we add them up on aggregate for that overall victory and those 60 points. That goes the way of Team De La Cruz Mejia. Betania again proves herself both an effective captain as well as an effective attacker. We'll be back to Mesa, Arizona momentarily. Taking the overall and 2 of our 3 sets, Team De La Cruz Mejia victorious in night number 1, 72-64. And Claire Hoffman playing a large role in this number 1 selection for Team Betania De La Cruz Mejia.
Yeah, Hoffman, we knew she wasn't going to be hugely important in the offense. She ends up with 7 points in total, but the numbers I'm looking at, she was served 33 times, and she had a positive reception 70% of those times. So she was fantastic at really adding that stability that Betty needed for the power combo of Betty and Kat on the pins.
All right, our own Savannah Collins with the number 1 draft pick.
Claire, being the #1 pick, you knew you were going to have a big role coming into today. How did that translate from practice to this first match to step in this way for this team?
Yeah, I knew one of my biggest strengths was serve receive, so kind of being able to take care of that on the court was going to be a really important thing. I think we did a good job, had a couple, they served tough, which we knew they have a good group of servers going in, but I think we did a pretty good job of maintaining our serve receive and helping out our offense that way.
Without a doubt, targeted 30 times in serve receive, a 67% positive pass rate. What was the key for being that type of steady force for your team to be able to facilitate the offense?
Yeah, I think just keeping things simple. Simple is better than being chaotic and all over the place. So just kind of taking a little reset between each point, turning to Betty, turning to Manami, hey, we've got this, and just kind of getting a little moment before the next ball.
But hey, you got your swings in there too. What type of compliment were you trying to be to your captain, the 01 Betty De La Cruz Mejia, that you knew you needed to give them a different look?
Yeah, Betty takes a ton of big swings, which is great, and then being able to just kind of be, that secondary piece of offense, just to make sure they're not kind of overloading on her and she doesn't have to have such a big load. That's a pretty important job, I think, of a OH2. Yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Congrats on a great game. I also have Manami Kojima with me. We did a little Google translating beforehand. We talked about the connection between her and Betty De La Cruz. I'm going to ask her. She's going to answer in Japanese first, and then we'll give you the translation. Why do you love playing alongside Betty?
Betty ベティとプレーするのはすごく頼もしいです。彼女はプレーでもメンタル面でもチームを引っ張ってくれています。
Shout out to Google Translate. She talked about how she is a very reliable player and leads the team both in terms of play and mentality. I'll let you go ahead and put in the second one. I asked her a little bit about what is your philosophy on defense? This?
ブロッカーと連携をとって、プレーすることを意識しています。
She had 20 digs tonight. We couldn't let this game go by without highlighting her. She said, I'm conscious of playing in cooperation with the blockers and being able to work around them. Manami, congratulations on a great game, and thanks for being up for it. You were awesome. Kevin Key, back to you.
Man, I wish I had that one. I had to get interviewed in Italian on Italian TV after a couple of weeks.
Shout out Savannah for the Japanese lessons as well.
Yeah.
Doing it all over there.
Always make me feel like I'm ready to watch a basho in November for a World Championships or something. Love playing in Japan. My favorite place on the planet. Take me through this match a little bit here, Key.
I'm looking at some numbers that are pretty evenly spread out. I mean, the kills, there's barely a couple of points in them. Same thing with aces and blocks, even the digs. And we were pointing out Kojima for her fantastic play, but remember Moné's side as well, making it really, really tough to score.
Key, we played twice on a Friday, each team taking the floor one time. What do we typically learn about these teams when we come to a Friday evening?
It's early days, so both these teams have just joined. They're working some things out. A lot of communication is important. Like to remember Moné talking about her team trying to find their style together. But what I love is that we're seeing different stars emerge. So you might think Betty's going to be the star of one side, then she has Lecter with her. Now they're against each other. So I'm learning that there is a lot more volleyball to play between now and Sunday, and a lot could change.
Yeah, we're starting to see those individual stars. We're also starting to see some of those combinations that go together and play well together. Will it be Danny Drews alongside Brooke Nuneviller coming up here in just a moment? But Dani De La Cruz is on top again, but only because Brittany Abercrombie has not taken the floor. I'm willing to bet Brittany Abercrombie is going to get a couple hundred points in this match and probably regain that lead. Lecator member Moné doing good work there. Her side, even in a losing effort, scoring a fair amount of points, and Lecator putting away 16 kills. What else do you see here on our leaderboard?
I'm looking at Nazi Valentina Anderson creeping her way up. Manami Kojima, those two are players that I would love to see in the captain's role. I mean, Manami in the defense, she is so phenomenal, so impressive. But who would she choose first? And this week we saw 4 pins selecting first, so those pins were already off the board. If we had a libero back in the mix, it would be a very different job.
Yeah, you and Statsman Pickle looking at Natalia Valentina Anderson, who picks up a lot of defensive points to go along with the team's success. All right, coming up next, the captains, Brittany Abercrombie and Danny Drews, facing off against one another. A couple of lefties, but playing 2 different positions.
Yeah, and both impressive in their own right. Brittany Abercrombie working her way up to that gold captain's chair because of how solid and stable she has been throughout this whole season. Danny Drew's returning after we saw her a couple of seasons ago. Now she's back in that spot. I think these two teams are going to match up really well based on the players that they chose in the draft.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see who provides some other offense opposite Abercrombie. Do we get to see Berkeley Oblad for the first time for Danny Drews? A reunion of the Utah Utes. There is Drews. Her brother coming off an incredible night, returning ball for a touchdown yesterday in the NFL. An incredibly athletic family, football and volleyball living through them. And then the now Puerto Rican all-star from the Puerto Rican national team, Team Abercrombie. Brittany Abercrombie will be across the net. Can't wait for this one. Players are getting warm. Morgan Hens, of course, we'll see some more defensive gems. We go from Kojima to Hens. There could not be a better defensive 1-2 punch. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball will continue at 9:30 p.m. Eastern with the Team Abercrombie facing off with Team Drews on Bally Sports. Our final score, 72-64, the victory for Dela Cruz Mejia, who'll be back in action on Sunday. For Key Michaels, Savannah Collins, and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Barnett. Thanks for watching. We will be right back with more volleyball.